Da-dum, 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 da-dum. Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Danny Dan blog. I had planned to do the Pink Panther today. That's right. I was going to check out old Pink Panther right there, boy. But I realized that I have got a copyright for every video I've done about comic books so far this year. So I decided to do something that didn't involve a trailer or some cool music. And I wanted to do something that had a little bit maybe horror aspect to it. So I decided to check out Victorian Undead comic book series from 2011 featuring Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula. Oh, it's going to be good. And you know what? I've heard vampires suck. So we'll have to see how good it works out for the queen. You ever wonder how that old queen lived so long? I think we're about to find out the queen's lesson in this double shot of Victorian Undead, in this double shot of Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula. Stay tuned! Will Dave Sunstorm think this is the good stuff? Hopefully he'll leave us a comment this time and let us know. So in this week's comic book debacle, we go with DC Comics from 2011. I'm starting with number 3. Number 1 and number 2 of this series pretty much just cover the events of a Dracula comic book. You know, everything that basically happened in the novel Dracula. Number 3 picks up where Sherlock Holmes gets involved, and I figure that's the best place to start. Plus, I've only got number 3 and 4 of this 5 comic book series. I don't have 1 and 2, but I've heard of them. So let's open the cover and see what happens. So inside the front cover, we get EverQuest. That's right, some Sony Online garbage from 2011. That was a real piece of... Our comic opens up on 221B Baker Street. That's right, my English friends. And we see the meeting of Dr. Van Helsing and Sherlock Holmes, who discuss the events of the novel Dracula. And with a quick lowdown, because we've got 2 comic books to get through, we'll see Sherlock Holmes getting filled in all about vampires, the whole events of the novel Dracula in this quick recap. As he recounts the Nina, the Lucy, the tales of Dracula to Sherlock Holmes, Sherlock Holmes is in disbelief. I find this highly unsettling, says Sherlock. At which point we get a commercial for Green Lantern Corpse and the Brightest Day, the Batman and teeny little person Robin saga. Hey, don't call a little person the M word. You might get your video blocked in several different territories, like I did. Now back to the action as Sherlock Holmes is filled in on the adventure of going to the tomb, opening the crypt, driving stakes through chicks' hearts, watching them evaporate into a bust of dust. Bye-bye, Miss Nina. And by the way, in this book, it's Nina, not Lucy, that gets staked out. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Van Helsing debate Dracula's history. You know, how he was known as a cruel overlord who impaled people and drove stakes through them. Sherlock Holmes is interested in the history of Dracula. And if you want to read this for yourself, you can pause it here and read how somebody renounced God and he did all that horrible stuff before he was Nosferatu. That's pretty cool, all right? And it's with all that excitement we get the rise of Eclipse. Yeah, it's beginning. The world of Justice League of America tainted in some other distant universe that makes me want to barf. Sherlock Holmes is having trouble believing Van Helsing's story. Van Helsing says, "Whatever can I do to convince you, Sherlock?" At that moment, the door busts open, and Sherlock Holmes' brother Mycroft busts in with, "I can answer that question." Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Mycroft says he has been investigating this Dracula, this vampire thing. And he also has some information about one of their friends. That's right. We're going to learn the sad fate of Arthur Holmwood. Arthur Holmwood, one of the men who was at the crypt and helped dispatch Nina the vampire, had been tracking Dracula on his own. He had been in touch with Mycroft, as he was an agent working for Mycroft. He encountered Dracula and Lucy. He threw holy water in Lucy's face and burned her severely, and went one-on-one with Dracula. And just going to throw this in the middle and not even talk about his little adventure before now. And maybe they did in part two, because I didn't have that. What in the blue heck? Batman Arkham Asylum, full page ad turned the wrong way? What? Thank you, DC, with all your commercials for breaking my train of thought as Arthur gets caught by Dracula. Arthur gets the squeeze put on him by Dracula. Arthur is going to have a bad day. That's right. Arthur becomes... Are you ready for it? I got to say it. Arthur becomes lunch for Lucy. That's right. Now he, too, is lunch for Lucy. Damn it, boy! I'm convinced, says Sherlock Holmes, because he trusts his brother Mycroft's warped version of the world and takes it into consideration that this is all real and begins his investigation to help track down Dracula. And it's at this point, of course, we're going to get another commercial for Batman, because it's freaking DC, right? And now the deductive mind of Sherlock Holmes goes to work with Professor Van Goofball Van Helsing as they scour maps of England in search of Dracula's hidden coffins. And we should have some theme music playing in the background as they do this long, long search through maps. It's like pages and pages of we're going to search for Dracula through maps. But I have to admit, at least it's well drawn. I don't want to throw up on the art in this 2011 comic book. Most new shiny, glossy comics make me sick, but this one's not having that effect. And now we're back to the Dracula novel. As a group of hardy heroes, accompanied by Van Helsing and Sherlock Holmes, attempt to track down Dracula's secret lairs. As they track down one secret lair deep in the catacombs, they are astonished to find all the coffins empty, and now they fear they may have a problem. Really? You're going to put a commercial in for some more Batman stuff? It's the return of Bruce Wayne in 2011. It's probably a much better comic book than the one I'm looking at today. So our heroes resume their search of the catacombs. Little do they know that the brides of Dracula, led by Lucy, are lurking above. To be continued. And in the back of this comic, we're going to get a preview for some crap involving Superman, DC Universe Legends. I'm not even going to go through Captain Cole's Superman and the DC Universe Legends hidden in the back of my monster book, making me want to puke, barf, and be ill that you cut so many pages of Dracula for this stuff. And they actually put like 6 pages in the back of this comic book of other crap. Can you believe it? It come out in April. It must be an April Fool's joke. Jeez. Really cool art on this back cover, though, in the DC Universe. And I have to admit, probably anything DC Universe superheroes is probably better than most of the stuff you will see on this channel. Don't worry, I'm going to keep going. You know, I'm not going to stop. I got to see what happens to hot vampire chicks. But first, I got to do what I always do. Shout-outs! A shout-out to Dave Sunstorm and his incredible brother, Steven Sunstorm. You know, the good stuff, guys, here on YouTube. Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV, and be sure to say his name right or he'll get upset. That's McCormack. My partner in crime, Thrash Pondo Puns. You can find me and him together every other week on his channel doing our show, where we save the world. And be sure to check out Baby over at Brain Bender's Banners. You can see me there on Saturday nights on her panel, as well as our friend Corey. Corey at Corey's Comedy Channel. He's the cool dude with with cards. That's right, he actually has business cards. Can you believe it? That makes him extra cool. With the honorable mentions of BK on the air, big guys 40s fives. My flock is ever worse, Sarah, the nostalgic pod blast chance. The nostalgic pod blast! Chance Bartel, be sure to check him out. He's cool, man. Retro Nerd Girl. AAP Homestead, AAP for life. We miss you guys. The Unapologetic Geek. Hey, Unapologetic Geek's got a new book out, and I'm going to show that at the end of this video if I have time. And be sure to check out the Life and Sad Endings channel. Hey, I like that guy. Gypsy Road, we miss you, brother. And a special shout out to BMR, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I think that's everybody for today. I'm going to have to fix that list. And with no further dragging around, let's get on with the story. Victorian Undead 2011. From DC Comics, featuring Sherlock Holmes meets Dracula. Book 4. It's a clone of the first book with the same crappy inside cover from the last one, it looks like. Hey, I did a Sherlock Holmes meets the Night Stalker 2 once before. You might want to check out that review. It's up here on this channel. That's right. This is my first time dealing with those Sherlock Holmes. Hey, anyway, back to action. They're searching for vampires. They're finding empty coffins. And wait, didn't we see that in the last comic book? And from the top, you know it's true. Busty, beautiful vampire babes descend on our heroes. Bam, 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 gunshots fire and stakes are flying as a battle ensues between the heroes and the wives of Dracula. Oh, stake to the heart, knife to the throat. And full shiny-ass glossy panels brought to you by the Daily Damn blog right there, buddy. We get to see all the action. That goddamn knife must have been made of silver. One slash and poof goes a vampire. Ah, no, not Sarah. That vampire was named Sarah. Did you see that, Sarah? A vampire named Sarah got turned to dust. Other ones get back with the cross. Gunshot. Boom. How can a gunshot affect vampires? Well, it's elementary. My dear doctor. Elementary, my dear Dr. Watson. I have packed cloves of garlic inside me pistol, and it affects the vampires in a most dreadful way. Oh, I really think English people talk funny. And in the centerfold, you get this full-page layout for what apparently is some Dragon Quest bullshit. I swear I couldn't stand this stuff. This Dragon Quest stuff made me want to pull my hair out, and just seeing it right now is having a bad effect on me. Maybe I should do something to get a better effect on me. And then the strangest thing ever happened as the battle ensued. And the vampires were being backed away. Lucy claims that she still has a little humanity left and reaches down and squishes the head of one of the vampires incredibly. Jucks her up and reaches right through her and snatches her skeevy little heart out, and the vampire busts into flame. As Lucy says, I am different than the others. These others were medieval whores, but I am an intelligent, modern woman. Leave me be, and I'll leave you be. Seems like Lucy got some plans of her own. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. I think whoever wrote this comic book and drew it up must have been smoking something really good, boys. Anyway, Lucy runs away, the other vampires are toast, and our heroes return to the Baskerville house in the swamp to regroup and replan. I guess it was the old house the vampires were at, but I don't know, that's just messed up. As they go through the house releasing all the animals, we realize that these vampires collected all forms of animals. I guess they were drinking more than just human blood. All the animals were released and a torch was gathered. After all the animals are flushed from the house, Sherlock adopts a dog and decides to name it Sherlock Bones. And they light the old castle-like house up in a big flashing blaze of glory. Our heroes are considered arsonists. What? Arsonist? Yeah, that's right. You're an arsonist when you burn down a really cool house like that because they had a few vampires in it. I'm not agreeing with that action. Info panels brought to you by the Daddy Dan blog. You know, they're shiny, glossy, love. You get to see our arsonist heroes burn down really valuable real estate in England. Sherlock is a genius. He chases a ripped piece of Dracula's cape to his really cool dog, Sherlock Bones, who he just rescued from the vampires. You know, that might be a vampire dog. He may have got sucked. He looks a little on the evil side. Did you notice? You've been seeing him from one side, but I've seen him from both. Yeah, that's right. They're in search. They're in search of Dracula with Sherlock Bones, the dog that dun-da-dun-da, dun-da-dun-dun-da, maybe half vampire because he's been sucked. He's been sucked hard. So Sherlock Bones drags our heroes through parties, through back bars, and through streets. He drags us right into a full two-page ad in the centerfold. We are not in Azeroth anymore, Rift. What in the blue hell is this? Here's some crap I never heard of and hope I never hear of again. Phew, snap, back to the action. Right, after that horrible ad. Back to the action as our heroes tracking down the locations on their maps of Dracula's other properties come up on Dracula's Gypsies, a band of misfit mutants to help transport his coffins across countries. And it's obvious at least one of them is a bloodsucker, as they got a cart full of the dead bodies out back that been sucked dry. I hope them don't turn into zombies come after the guys, you know, because that happens a lot. But look, the leader of the Gypsies says something is going on. I think we have company, boys. And in full exciting panels brought to you by the Daddy Dan blog, let's roll through it quick. A gunfight ensues between Dracula's Gypsies and our heroes. Our heroes are under heavy fire. They're blasting to the left and to the right as they send these Gypsies into the dark night. Don't you just love a vampire comic book with a lot of cowboy-style shootouts, and they blast these gypsies into another realm of reality? One gypsy left alive with a shoulder wound, obviously not a vampire, as he cries and whines for his miserable life. Sherlock Holmes deduces that there's no vampires here. We have been misled. Sherlock ponders what to do next. What to do next, Sherlock? And then you get another full page, turned the wrong way ad for Brightest Day with all your superhero favorites. Never heard of this crap neither. Sherlock Holmes ponders for a moment. And then he realizes the unthinkable. That these gypsies had stolen one of the royal ball wagons. What? They build up the ball when they're going to have a big party, and there's bodies in the back of the wagon were the real ball builders. And oh my God, Dracula has been sent to the palace. And at that very moment, Dracula begins to come out of his coffin in the palace, and of course that's where it ends. And if I ever get any more of these crappy comic books, I'll finish this story. And then you get that same commercial for that knobby little Batman. Oh, gee willikers. And then, what the heck? You get a Batman and Robin sneak preview because that's what you want in the back of your horror comic book is some freaking Batman. And check it out. You get plenty of it. You get more Batman and Robin. And in this one, Batman's gigantinormous and Robin looks like a little teeny tiny Batmite. Why? Why, God, do I care not about none of that? No, I don't care about none of that. Thank you for that free sneak peek instead of 4 more pages of vampire action. I really appreciate that. And we're going to finish out the last pages of the book with DC Nation, more Batman. And of course, just to make things extra crappy, let's throw Green Lantern in the back of it. The least popular of all the superheroes. And this back cover makes me want to cry. You could have had anything horror or whatever. It's a Dracula comic book, dude. And that's my horrible, horrible look at Victorian Undead, featuring the team-up of Sherlock Holmes and Dracula. Oh, God, that makes me want to just pull my hair out. I wonder if I'll ever get any more of these books and see what happens next. Probably not. But if I do get any more of them, I'll be sure to finish the story or begin it. I just got this incredible novel called Paradox by E. McGill, better known to us as the Unapologetic Geek. It's a time travel story I can't wait to read. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just pick up the little thing and order it now, and when I do my review of this book, you'll know if I was right or wrong. Until next time, this is Danny Staten for all the cool, good stuff, guys and gals. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that stupid little bell and order the book by E. McGill. And until next time, blog over, dudes. Blog over. Yeah, we know what fucking time it is now.